saying, Scott never takes me on a date. I love how you're trying to blame it on her, and it's not her. I think it's all you.
Yeah, I know you do, but you're wrong.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
Hey, welcome to the weekly podcast known as the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast, or what I also like to call it. Allie's going to get me in trouble with my girlfriend at some point during this podcast.
Oh, that's not my goal.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And wait, does that happen every week?
No.
Oh, sounds like it.
No.
Sounds like, what happened? Okay, what did you get in trouble for
last podcast?
Yeah, what'd you get in trouble for?
She made fun. No, I didn't get in trouble. She made fun of me for this one. Apparently, we were talking about our grandparents. It was the most innocent damn podcast, right?
It started out.
We were telling these great stories about being kids and how I'm figuring out, how my parents were actually getting out on the town doing, they were living their life, having a great relationship.
I know where this is going.
And I was telling how I, used to stay with my granny. Then she got a little bit older and I ended up shifting over to my other grandmother and stuff like that. I must have said something where it was the comment like, a granny fetish or a grandma fetish. And she just teased me about that. She was like, so you got a grandma fetish, huh? And I'm like, huh?
I don't remember that. And I just listened to the podcast.
Apparently it was the way I phrased something. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I said it.
What I thought you were going to say, what you got in trouble for, which
here it comes.
You didn't, but you will now, was you were like, oh, it took me 50 some years for me to figure out what my parents were doing right. And you were saying how they go out once a week, like either a Friday or a Saturday. And I thought you guys were going to get in trouble because you guys don't go out very often.
No. And the thing is that 100% relies on simple exhaustion and the schedules. I mean, like for an example, this week, girls work until 7:00 on Friday, has to be back at work at 8:00 in the morning on Saturday till noon.
Wait, she's the one that texts regularly into the show saying, Scott never takes me on a date. I love how you're trying to blame it on her, and it's not her. I think it's all you.
Yeah, I know you do, but you're wrong. But no,
I don't know about that. Don't you think she would enjoy a good Saturday dinner?
Yeah, at 4:30, she told me in the afternoon.
That's perfect.
I don't have a problem with that.
4:30 dinner.
It's tough because what she does, and she doesn't say this, is she gets very tired, and I get it.
So 4:30 dinner it is.
Yeah, I guess so.
Blue hair special. That's the other thing. Grandmas and grandpas have it on point. They go to the early dinners. Yeah. And that's how I want to be too. I like to have, we were just talking about our plans for the weekend, and I don't think we're going to be doing anything Saturday night, but anytime we make
What?
I know.
I really think you've been overdoing it. I get it. It's a relatively new thing. You want to be active. You want to be doing stuff.
Oh, no. I told him he's like the shiny new penny and everybody wants to meet him and see him. So that's what's happening.
Oh,
Is that.
At some point, you got to be careful because, we work a lot too. And I mean, it's going to wear you down. There is nothing wrong with you guys having a couch Saturday night.
Oh, you know what we do a lot though? And this has been great, especially because we're just coming off the Olympics. We've been staying in early in the morning, like for Valentine's Day. This is a good example. We didn't go anywhere. We sat on the couch for a while. It's just been a good slow morning. Mm-hmm. And then we went out around like noon or something like that. So we've had some really relaxing mornings.
The problem is you go out at noon, you don't get home till midnight, then you're dead again.
No,
it's just full. You've had full weekends.
I don't operate like that. No. We go out mid-afternoon, and then it's so funny because he was always the night owl, and he's like, I have never been in bed by 9:00 so much in my life. Like, well, get on my schedule.
Yeah,
and there's always somebody that wins in the relationship of schedules, and mine wins. But he's very understanding too. Like last night, he came over and we just had dinner. We took a walk, had dinner, and then we were watching some TV. And then it was 9:00. I'm like, okay, go home now.
Yeah, right. Get out.
Yeah, I've got to go to bed. Yeah. Actually, I wanted to stay up later because the show that we've been watching Shrinking with Harrison Ford,
I don't know
Jason Segel. Oh my gosh, it's so good. They're both psychiatrists. They're shrinks.
Oh.
And we just found out that Harrison Ford has Parkinson's in the show. Jason Segel's wife dies in the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but it's not, there's heavy stuff, but it doesn't feel super heavy.
Yeah, right. It's just part of the drama of it unfolding.
And
Wow.
the show is so good that I kind of wanted to binge even more, but he's like, nope, you have to go to bed, young lady.
It's the worst. You get into it, you're just like, oh, one more.
But,
yeah, I did that. Season 1 of Landman was brutal for us with that because it just, we're like, no, we can do one more. We can do one more. I mean, it would be 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh my God, tomorrow. But
well,
anyway.
so speaking of the new relationship, you start to ask each other a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And these like get to know you kind of things. So Scott, I'm going to ask you some of these.
Oh.
And these are questions that I thought, some of these don't need to be on the actual show, more of the podcast show. Okay. Have you ever hooked up with a celebrity? Maybe I'm going too hard right away.
No, I haven't.
I bet you I could have, but didn't. At one point, we were at some sort of like emo festival and we got backstage and they had like these little bonfires everywhere. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could have, but I was never that teenager. I was never that kid growing up.
Yeah.
And I literally say kid because I was a kid.
Who was, God, what's the actor that was in Biodome? Jesus, the scummy comedian. Oh my God.
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore. There is a funny story that an ex of mine was at a Pauly Shore show, and was Pauly invited her back to his room. She didn't go, but man, because I mean that would be a tough one to go. Hey, my celebrity hookup is Pauly Shore.
Yeah, that's not one you're proud of, and also they have different girlfriends in every single city. And that's the thing. As many times as I've gotten backstage, even before this career, it was always, they've got girlfriends in every city.
Oh, God,
I really don't need an STD.
I guess I haven't run that close to where you'd have personal conversations with many celebrities where it could go to that point.
I think it's more likely for women to be in that position than you to be in that position.
Absolutely.
Okay, between you and your girlfriend, who's more likely to get lost while driving?
She would, but she would sell it off as though, well, I don't care. It's just life. We're just going to drive wherever the road takes us. And it doesn't bother me. And then she would say, but you let that sort of stuff bother you, but it doesn't bother me. It's just life. It's just we're lost. It's no big deal.
Scott coming in hot.
I'd be losing it. I'd be
Scott
like,
coming in hot with the fights, by the way.
We?
Oh, you don't like just getting lost sometimes?
Nope. Nope, not part of my mission plan. But that's exactly the way that it would go. Oh, well, it's just like whatever. I just live in this and that. And I'd be like over here going, please turn off GPS.
I think that, first of all, I am not the one more likely to get lost. My significant other could not even get to Elmira and back without questioning where he was going.
That is a bit mind-blowing to me.
It is. So I think part of it is because like moving here, embracing the area. He's not from here either, but there's just a difference of people who are like, I'm going to go and see everything. And also, I don't know why, my mom just instilled it in me really young to remember all this, remember how you got in so you can get out.
Oh, now that's very good. Mine was a little bit different. I think I have a pretty good sense of direction for the most part. Not always perfect, but for the most part, for a couple reasons.
You're right. It's a sense, isn't it?
Well, it is, but my parents traveled a lot. We always took a family vacation during the summer. My dad hated to fly, even though he worked in aerospace. Figure that out. But he hated to fly. He really didn't enjoy it.
That's probably why he hated to fly, because he knew too much.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And it was funny because we drove everywhere. So, and I grew up at a time, my face wasn't buried in a tablet or in a phone or anything like that. So you had one thing to do, look out the window.
Right.
So I got a natural kind of thing. I've also in my career up until, the past 20 years that we've been here, I did move around a lot. I mean, I moved up and down the East Coast, all career related things. So you kind of see different cities. That helped, I think, a lot too. So, don't laugh at this. I used to know how to use a paper map.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
mine was
this
just
is it. This is the end of that generation.
Mine was just printed on printer paper from MapQuest.
Yes, MapQuest.
Yeah, but also with that, when you were saying how you moved a lot, that's and I travel a lot. It's that I figure out the stamp of the city. Like a lot of cities, they will have like a certain nuance about them. So you're right. I think that does help. I also take a really weird pride in being really good with directions.
There
Isn't
is
that
something
funny?
to it.
Isn't it funny how you like will take a weird pride in something in a relationship? Like when you're first starting to see somebody, you're like, I take pride in blah, blah, blah.
It's a flex.
Right. Exactly. Okay. If you walked past a claw machine, what prize is going to make you stop and play it?
If they had either an iPad or a diamond or something like that in it.
Oh.
If it was just a stuffed animal, all right, here, kid, here's the $1.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if it was something really good, that would stop me.
Mine would be something like either it's got to be a Visa gift card.
Okay, that I would go with that too.
Or I want it to be something like fun and funny, like nostalgic funny, like a whoopee cushion. Like something that you don't see that often, but
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, I just have to see if I can get it.
Sure.
That's the nostalgia part. Or if it was like a bag of tacos from Taco Bell. If it was a bag of tacos from Taco Bell, I absolutely am gonna stop and play.
Where's the adult claw machine with restaurant gift cards, lottery tickets, Visa gift cards, iPads, diamonds? Somebody's missing out on a fortune here. Vegas is missing out on a fortune.
Yes.
They probably have it.
Yes. Okay, what's the craziest thing your boss asked you to do?
Be in a paintball exhibit. Okay, so this is
I remember this
is our old
vividly.
asshole GM who wouldn't listen to anybody but himself, and anyway. He thought it would be a great idea that I go and I be one of the zombies in this zombie paintball thing, like a celebrity zombie. And I was not for it. I mean, but, one thing led to another. I kind of got forced into it. This has happened more than once in our time here where we are committed to things before anyone ever really comes to us and goes, are you good with this? And we've been sold some bullshit over the years. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. And sure enough,
the amount of eating contests that you've done, I started saying no.
Yeah, enough of that. But yeah, I got put into this position. And even though I got wrapped completely in bubble wrap, and I didn't really have all the protective gear
it's gotta hurt.
Actors, hurt. I was welted up. Like I should have come back at some point and been like, dude, you and I need to have a discussion with corporate HR. You cannot put me in this sort of a position again. And it's not that I'm not looking to have a good time, but I was welted up all over my back because what do the patrons of the haunted location where there was the zombie paintball thing, which, by the way, have you noticed that's disappeared everywhere?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that
10 years ago, you could go out and shoot zombie actors. No more.
I think it's because they couldn't even get actors to show up to do it anymore.
Even with padding. And I was wrapped in bubble wrap and everything else. And it was like, and of course, everybody wanted to peg the radio guy because it's fun.
Of course.
And for a few minutes, it was kind of fun. And I was dancing around doing this. And then it just got to the point, I'm like, who promised this? This is not good.
Also, something in that similar era, he was trying to get, and I don't even know how this was going to work. He was trying to get me to do kind of like an overnight stay, and there was going to be different, almost like I don't even want to say fear factor, but there was going to be like haunted challenges, and each challenge was going to be sponsored, and like how long I could stay awake, and it was honestly.
Let me answer that. 10 minutes. She can fall asleep anywhere.
I think what it ended up becoming an insurance liability for me to be on the property for that long. And the owner of this business wasn't willing to have somebody there to accompany me because they were.
You mean somebody was level-headed in the decision making?
Yes.
Well, go figure.
Yes. Other than that, like that was the biggest thing was he was going to have me. And I think it was going to be like, how long could I stay there? Could I be there for 2 days? Could I be there for 3 days?
Yeah.
Which at the time I was young and in my 20s, and I was like, okay, this is something you would see on TikTok now where it would be a fun challenge.
Sure.
And as adventurous as I am, I'm thinking, I really think it is one of the most unsafe things.
Well, it was just being sold. It was a bunch of stuff being sold, a bag of goods, if you will, to us. And it's like, could we not have been part of this whole decision-making process before? It's like, here you go.
I'm glad there are other people that had sound minds in certain decisions early on in our careers. At one point, do you remember we had talked about doing for me, Scott was not single at the time, that it was going to be like win a date with Allie, which
my
first
God.
of all,
Yeah.
not anything that is worth winning.
No, and I'm sure that's good,
right?
But I'm sure you would have been, taken to a very public place. Both, you would have had to endure a dinner.
Right. But then,
still.
and I can't remember who it was, came in and they were like, this is very unsafe. Like,
Yeah.
if you go on a date on your own, that's fine. But for you to go on a date.
It's not on company time or endorsed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think those are the only two crazy things. We do have, so our company, we have a group out in like the State College area, and they went rappelling off of a building. And they just did that very recently.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
But again, what if that was something in our business? Sometimes you come up with crazy ideas or things that you're going to do as a show. If you guys got into that and you had accepted that, if it was something that was birthed, as part of the show, or you decided what a cool thing to do collectively, that's fine. If you sold that I'm jumping out of an airplane and skydiving, and you come to me and say, hey, you're going to be skydiving next Thursday out of a plane, I'm going to say, no, you are, because I'm going to be shoving you out without a chute.
Well, that's the funny thing. That's
Not you,
how
the person that did it.
Yeah, that's how times have changed. So for our company, it was a group of our on-air talent that they were doing it together.
Sure.
But yeah.
It sounds like it was birthed in that this would be really cool, and everybody kind of got on board with doing it.
Right. So the funny thing about that is, you're right. Things used to be sold without asking us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, and I think this is where it shifted for me personally. So we were working up at a bar that was of the tiki style, and they had asked me to work, and I think you ended up doing it all day long. So
yeah.
it was like,
Yep.
it was from, I think, 9 a.m. until midnight or something like that.
It was an insanely long day.
Yes. And I finally said no, and they were shocked. They couldn't believe it. And I said, at the time I was dating a gentleman named, well, it doesn't matter what his name is. I was dating this gentleman, and he was like, no, that you're not doing it. And I was actually really glad for that he was the one that pushed me to.
He saw it.
Yes, he did. He did. It needed to be somebody from the outside, because it almost was like, oh, what's that syndrome, Scott? Where
not Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
This building was like a Stockholm syndrome case study, because
It's a great way to put it.
Because I was in that group for a while,
Yeah.
and then when my ex was like, no, you're not doing it. So then I like cried a little bit, and I said, no, I can't do it. I have a family now. He has a son. Like, I need to have some time with my family.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I do remember working most of that, and it was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Just and everyone's worked a long day, right?
Oh God,
But
yes.
now-
That's not the issue. The issue is you went out and this doesn't happen anymore. I want to point that out.
No.
But this was the issue of you went out and you'd do anything for $1, and then we had to pick up the pieces, and it kind of, I don't know, it just felt dirty.
It did.
You know?
It did. And you felt like you had to say yes, which is really,
And don't get me wrong, early in a lot of careers in entertainment, you got to do shit you don't want to do, or it's uncomfortable, or it's, it's like, that's not even part of it. Again, I don't have a problem working. Let's talk about it before we decide what's happening. Because also, I've come to the point in my life, I might have some ideas you haven't thought about.
Yes. And also on top of that, it's just a whole different time now.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody's asked me to like carry drugs across the border or something like that.
Yeah, that promotion was already sold, and you had to do that in 2008.
And what is the most moanable name during sex? And if you say mine, you win.
No, I'm not going to say yours.
No, I meant like you would answer
In
mine.
other words, mine. Because the way you set that up, I'm like, no, not screaming out Allie.
Ew.
Absolutely not.
No,
No.
don't you ever.
Mine. That's really funny. That a good trick question there on that one is like, get one answer on this, because I could see people sitting there going,
well, I gotta tell you where this came from. So I had mentioned to my new boyfriend what a name was that I used to date, and he was like, what? That name? And I was like, yeah, not the greatest name. I didn't call him by that name. He's like, that's a terrible name.
Can't be screaming that one out.
No, his family was really into NASCAR.
Oh.
Let's just say that. Ugh.
That's awesome.
It's like Gary. What was I watching the other day? Oh, have you ever seen the movie The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston?
Of course.
So his name, I totally forgot about this. Actually, it was my first time seeing the movie, but there was a lot of press around it at the time. And the main character, Vince Vaughn's character, is Gary. I'm like, Gary? Who can drop the name Gary in the bedroom? Like, you're never gonna be Gary. It's gonna be babe, honey, sweetie, sugar pie. I don't care what it is.
Babe, yeah.
Not Gary.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
You'll be happy to know my brother Jim will love that segment. My brother Gary, not so much. Listen, it's terrible. We got to cut it short because we have to go to a conference call today. It's just one of these things. I'm sure they've sold something. They're going to tell us all about what we have to do.
Oh, it's true. I already know what's coming. So yes. Anyway, I
Let's
did
go
it.
pick up the pieces, Allie.
I will. You will. Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.